From the Room 11 studio in Portland Middle School, this is JHBN.
Good morning, Portland Middle School students and staff. Happy Wednesday and happy advisory. This is sort of a unique advisory because you are lucky enough to listen to my voice for the next few minutes, because I want to go over something that's going to be important for all of us. And I'll tell you a little bit about how this came to be and why it came to be, but I really just want you guys to understand how to log in, what you're going to be looking at, and what we're going to start the year using this. So first and foremost, platform that we are going to be using for a variety of things is called Minga. And where this came from is in talking to all the teachers and the staff here at the middle school. We felt that having something where we could track positive behavior, possibly track negative behaviors, sync it up with communicating with your parents at home so that they are always in the loop, as well as creating digital hall passes, bathroom passes, flex passes. And then lastly, making sure that we're keeping on track of who is tardy and if there's a pattern that we need to be worried about so that we can intervene and help. So I'm going to go through briefly what you guys are going to start the year in terms of utilizing this platform for. So you can see here, you're going to create and use hall passes or any type of pass. I will show you what that looks like and how to do that. You're going to be able to, at least at the start of the year, earn positive behavior points. Now, notice that it only says positive. So what that means is, as a staff, we decided that the most important thing is getting the year off on the right foot. How do we do that? We want to make sure that we are highlighting the awesome behaviors that we are hoping and expecting to see, rather than focusing on mistakes that are made. Will we end up including points that can be taken away due to those mistakes and possibly some negative behavior? Absolutely. But right now, we're going to kind of leave that up to you as to what those behaviors would be and when we're going to start including that. We're also going to talk about what you're going to do with those points that you earned. So we're going to have a list of things that you can earn, and some of the items on that list are going to be from you guys. At the end of this, once you guys log into Minga, you're going to use a form to answer some questions, and the point of that is we want to hear from you guys. What are things that's going to motivate you? Obviously, they have to be realistic, but what are some things that you would want to earn? Tardy tracking, this isn't something that you really need to worry about unless you are late to school all the time, which I'm hoping that would be nobody. So what you're going to get out of this is I'm going to briefly show you how to sign on. Very simple. You're going to watch a couple of overview video clips that highlights everything that we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you what it looks like and what you're going to see when you create and end a pass. The positive behaviors we're going to start tracking at the beginning of the year. Where you might see your points, and then when we come up with that list of rewards, where those rewards will be. And an example of an auto email that can be sent right to parents because you, A, earned a certain amount of points, and we want them to know that you've been doing a great job, or B, hopefully this doesn't happen often, we need them to know that you are tripping up and not making the right decisions. This picture on the right, this is what will pop up if you click on the home screen, which I will show you in just a moment. The reason I wanted to highlight this is because as students and the adults in the building, we will be able to go to that help center if we forgot how to do something, or if we're having a hard time remembering how to, for instance, create a hall pass. Click on this. It'll bring out that video that you're going to see in a second anyways. The next thing I'm going to do is show you what it looks like when you sign in. So the web address that you would go to, app.minga.io. Once you get there, this is the screen that you're going to see. Could it be more simple? You're just going to hit sign in with Google. You're going to choose your school email address, and then you'll be able to sign in from there. We're going to pull up a slide that has a couple different video clips highlighting some of the aspects of Minga. Again, I just want to stress that this platform has a lot available to it. Because this is new to everybody in this building, we are really just going to focus on a few items to start the year. Moving forward, as we become more comfortable, we can start to use everything that the platform has available. So check out these videos, and again, these videos are available on the Help Center, and I'll show you where you can click on that. So hopefully that was helpful. Just so you're aware, I mentioned this earlier, but this Help Center tab that is down here, this is what you're going to see at the bottom left of your home screen when you log in. On the left, you have options to click on My Tools. You have events. There's nothing posted in here right now, but eventually we will start posting school-wide events that you can see in your Minga platform. Groups, I'll come back to that in a second. This is where you would just view your ID, and then I'm going to show you shortly on how to use this one, which is probably what you as students are going to use the most to start the year. In terms of groups, so right now there are no groups in this system. We as a staff can create groups based on need. Now this could be positive, or it could be because we need to keep certain people away from one another. So if we're noticing that these two people seem to be going to the bathroom the same time every single day, multiple times a day, that's probably not a coincidence. So we could go in there, and these groups would be called no party groups, in which we would put names down. What that's going to do is, if you are a part of a no party group and you go to sign out and somebody else who's in that no party group is already out, you will not be able to create a pass. Again, there are no groups right now. We are going to basically leave that up to you guys and base it on what we see. So we're really keeping this pretty open for you guys right now. And how much we have to structure it, or how many constraints we have to put on it, is up to kind of what we see over the next couple weeks. So just keep that in mind. So, like I said, this is probably where you're going to live the most when you're using Minga. And this is what I want you to get comfortable with in the next few days. So when you create a hall pass or any type of pass, you need to remember the critical part of ending that hall pass. Some of these passes, such as restroom, are timed. So if you're a 7th grader, you create a bathroom pass, you go, you're going to see in a second that the time on that pass starts to count down. When you come back, I'm going to show you how you have to end that pass. Typical to previous years, yes, you can create your own passes. You're going to do so on your Chromebooks, but you also have to make sure that you're still getting it approved by your teacher, meaning you're not just going to create a hall pass and walk away. You need to raise your hand, say, hey, I forgot some in my locker. They're going to say yes. You're going to create a locker pass. You're going to select which teacher approved it, which is just the teacher whose classroom you are in at the time. And then that virtual pass would begin. So this is what you're going to see here. This is a test student. This would be your name right here. This would say your grade. This would be the wonderful smiling photo of you. And this says which staff member approved that pass. So it looks like Mr. Steckloff approved my restroom pass. Thank you, Mr. Steckloff. When you come back, again, crucial, you need to hit that end button. When you hit that, this is the next thing that's going to pop up on your screen. All right. So you're going to see a timestamp. This means that, when you go to the bathroom or you go to your locker, that pass is timestamped. All right. At any point, certain people in this building, in terms of myself, Mr. Briganti, office staff, team leaders, we can go in and we can see everybody who has a pass. And I'm only telling you that not because I want you to know that we're going to be keeping track of you. Obviously, we're all busier than being able to do that. But I just want you to be aware that it's something that if something does happen in the bathroom, not that that would ever happen here, but if something does happen, we'll be able to see, which people were out on passes at that time of the day. All right, so next step that you're going to have to focus on other than passes is just doing the right things. And it's important to us as a staff to make sure that when you are doing the right things, we are showing you that we appreciate you. Those right things, we're keeping it very, very simple to start the year. You're going to notice 3 positive behaviors, green, 1 negative behavior, red. This isn't something that you necessarily have to worry about as students unless you are consistently late to school. If that's the case, then yeah, that is a worry. But that's when we'll jump in and hopefully provide some resources and help to get that back on track. But in terms of the positives, we as a staff decided that we want to start this year out on the best foot possible. How do we do that? We highlight the great things that we're seeing. We highlight the great behaviors and the responsible behavior and the kind behavior that we're hoping to and expecting to see out of our 7th and 8th graders. And when we do that, we're going to make sure that you know that we saw that and you know that we appreciate that by awarding you points. Now, how are points going to motivate you? Well, that's part of what you're going to be doing today. So similar to what we had set up at Biz, the more you earn, the more options you have in terms of what you want to do with those points and how you want to cash them in. When we have that list set up of rewards that you can earn, that will be on this page too. So when you earn a certain amount of points and we set days up for you to cash in, the more you have, the more flexibility you'll be given to choose how you want to spend some of those points. As the year goes on, at some point, obviously, we're going to start including some negative behaviors. And again, that's going to be totally based on you and what we are seeing out of our students. So if we spend the next 2 weeks and people are really focusing on earning those positive points and we don't feel a need to start keeping track of negative behaviors because we're not seeing a lot, that's great. If we decide that there's something that's going on with certain students or all of our students as a whole, and we need to make sure that we're addressing it, then we're going to add it to this list. And what will happen is if you're not doing the right thing, we have to let you know that we noticed that as well. And if it doesn't stop from there, obviously we're going to have more follow-up and different kind of consequences. But to start the year, you guys have the opportunity to earn as many positive points as possible just by doing these very simple 3 things, right? Be respectful to everybody. put effort in. Whether or not you're frustrated with something, whether or not it's hard, put effort in. And then just be a genuinely kind person, whether it's to somebody who's your best friend or somebody that you've never spoken to before. You can be kind. Doesn't matter how well you know them. When it comes to being tardy to school, similar to last year, if there's a pattern of being late to school consistently, obviously we're going to get in touch with your parents. We're going to set up a meeting, and if it continues and you're tardy for the fourth time within a quarter, that's going to yield a consequence. But like I said, hopefully it doesn't come to that for any of you or the vast majority of you. Right over here, you're going to see an example of an email that would be automatically sent home. So the cool thing about this platform is we can set up limits. So if we say as a staff, okay, if a student gets 3 points in 1 week, positive points in 1 week, we want to make sure that they know that, and you guys will be able to go on your platforms, your homepage, and see how many points are given. But we also want to make sure that your parents know that too. So this is an example of an email that can automatically be sent home, and we would set it up to say, okay, once they hit a certain amount of points for this positive behavior, we're going to send this positive email home. So obviously your parents are kept in the loop. They know what's going on. And I think you guys can all agree, but your parents getting this kind of email would yield a very different conversation than your parents getting an email saying the opposite, which would be something like, we're noticing that so-and-so is not making the best decisions. We talked to them, but we want you to be aware. Please address this with them when you're home. Obviously, 2 different emails, 2 different conversations. So do yourselves a favor, do your parents a favor, do your staff a favor. Focus on getting these positive emails, not the opposite. Lastly, next steps, right? So just to kind of highlight really what I want you to focus on. I know I gave you a lot of information. There's really 2 things that you need to focus on as students, all right? 1, start getting used to using the digital passes. Ask for permission, sign on in your Chromebook once you're signed in, and then once you end that pass or come back from wherever you were, make sure you hit end to that pass. The second thing is, and this is no different than any school you've ever gone to, just focus on doing the right thing, right? We want to leave this as open for you guys as possible. But based on what we see, if we have to structure it more, if we have to put more behaviors in place that would be considered negative because we have to keep track of those, then that's something we'll do. But again, that is totally up to you guys. We know that you guys are middle schoolers. We know that you want the responsibility. We're giving you the opportunity to have that responsibility and show that maturity. So the last thing I want you to take away from this is that this system as a whole is adaptable. It's September 3rd right now. The screen that you're seeing on September 3rd is not going to necessarily be the same screen that you see when you go on there on October 3rd. If we're seeing things that we need to add for positive behaviors, we're going to do it. If we are seeing things that we need to add for negative behaviors, we're going to do it. If we come up with ideas or hear from you guys about new ideas in the winter in terms of things that you want to earn and it's realistic, we're going to do it. If we need to be more creative with consequences for certain behaviors, then we're going to do that. This can change from month to month, year to year. It's something that can stay the same. Again, it's dependent on how you guys use it and the integrity that you guys show as 7th and 8th graders. Your parents are aware of this. They all know that we are using this system, but I am going to send something out more specific now that you guys have seen this so that they are aware of exactly what we're doing in terms of tracking positive behaviors, using hall passes digitally, and how they can be kept in the loop in terms of what we're seeing at school. We're going to give you a little bit of time to use that web address to go on right now. If you have any issues signing on, you can raise your hand, let your advisor teacher know, and we can help out with that. And like I said, just spend the next couple of days trying to get used to it, get comfortable with it. All right? That doesn't mean start bombarding all of your teachers with requests to go to the bathroom so you can see your digital hall pass. That's kind of the opposite of what we want to do. But when you do need to go somewhere, use this platform, get comfortable with it. It's not going to be perfect, but the more that we use it, the more often we use it as a group, the better it's going to be. Appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.